Okay, greetings. This is Rich, and my name's Rich, and this is Classic Games Redefined. We're going to do a series of videos here. This is one of them on why that game. And we're looking at Magic the Gathering here. We're doing a Mutator Monday that applies a Mutator in Magic the Gathering called Resource Pooling. So we might as well look at Magic the Gathering. I'm going to explain a little bit of my background with the game, why I do it. It's not a game I play currently. I'm going to get this out of the way and do it. What I'm going to discuss with Magic the Gathering, I'm going to go specific elements of Magic the Gathering, but also elements, which I will describe here, also apply to any collectible card game or trading card game or anything where you get booster packs like, and, baseball cards into it. And that's where Richard Garfield came up with it. One to have an expandable game. And what we have here with this is a game that has a lot of good elements, but let me first get on my proviso why I don't play this. First thing, there's a money pit angle. You don't have to play it that way, but I tend to be a bit compulsive in what I do and driven, and therefore I'm doing it. And you could put a bunch of money in and chase cards and everything else, try to construct decks and do it that way. Trying to keep up with it. You can play it more casually. Tournament angle can lead that to happening. Because what it was is not that one player owns it. Everybody owns their own equipment, and their equipment duels against other players here. So what we have here is it's a two-player game, normally, and you play it. And besides, also I mentioned another thing, besides the cost involved, I want to be able to not just commit to one game, but have a bunch. I like being an ambassador for stuff. Besides, my game designs are all over. Besides that, I'm not good at it. So I've had cards from a while back, was trying to do a deck with it, and I couldn't compete against people even had new cards. And they're good legacy cards. I'm going to try to play within the rules and do that, but I'm just not good at it, and I just can't bring myself to commit to a single game. But that being said, my experience was at college, so this is Magic's probably about over 20 years old now, or going to be. When I was in college, I think it's over 20 years old, it was in the 90s. So yeah, it's been going on a while. Because of this, I got into college, then I got out because I needed money and stuff, and I felt I was getting a little bit too much. I got back into it. I went to a place called Neutral Ground, picked up a few cards, decided to read up my deck. Got out, got rid of most of my cards. I think I kept a few decks just to have it. Then played with somebody else here, got into it more, and then eventually realized I couldn't beat people, so I'm out of it. But that being said, if you know my background, I've gone back. I mean, the first time on Magic was the second expansion called Antiquities, so I've seen the game then. I've seen how it grown. I've seen how this game kept the hobby stores alive just by the sheer trading a number, and also from an economic standpoint, because of that, you could have multiple stores carrying Magic in them, in cards, and because players will go to different places, you could have multiple stores support it. So it's good from an economic standpoint. It's just, you can be prone to money pit, but I just rather play other things here. I like the concept of what you see here is also in something called trading card games. Deck building games. And that genre there, I happen to like, so I like the idea of doing it. But let's get into first trading card games, collectible card games. What makes them good here? And there's two major aspects to it. And then we'll actually look specifically at Magic here. So what we have here is, the first thing is the metagaming. Magic's all about the metagaming. It's all about understanding the environment and constructing a deck. And pardon, these are just props I have, because you just showed a basic one. Players may have other things too. You could have counters, because these cards will generate other units to attack. In Magic, you're attacking trying to eliminate your opponent's life. That's a health thing. Starts at 20 and goes down. You're trying to eliminate them. But the metagaming. You learn where things are. You know what cards are coming out. And with that, what you do is you have to figure out where things are. So if you like a game where you customize, have to think about the metagaming and how you construct your cards and everything else, that's definitely something that's interesting. Pretty much all trading card games. Anyhow, I discussed a little bit of Magic in there in a section. We're doing the why trading card games overall. Another fun aspect of that here is that the whole getting booster packs, and typically you have that in there. You'll open it up, and it's kind of like a slot machine. You never know what you get. You may occasionally get like the very powerful and rare card. That's very cool and new, and you make a decision, and you can do trading with players. That's another angle having it with the metagame. That's typically common for trading card games, and with Magic there's a lot of them. So I mean, it's just the sheer fun of opening up the booster. Okay, let's look specifically at Magic the Gathering now. One of the first things you have here is Magic plays relatively quick here. half hour or so. You could just, during a lunch, just get the game here and play with other people. And you'll see here, you see this here? This 2 stuff? The cards and the dice, or life counter? That's about all you need. Depending on your deck, that could be all you need and you keep track of it. Yeah, if you want to add things that generates other counters, you're probably going to want to have more. But those are 2 things. That's it. The plays quick, and it's also very compact, so you can carry that with you. And the artwork's good on the cards. Go look at Magic the Gathering sometime, and you'll see that the artwork, there's got some of it's not as good as other ones, but the artwork is generally very good, so you want to have it. And another thing you have is there's a large number. Player base is large for this. It's big enough to actually support hobby stores. So you have that angle also. Expandable, considering how long Magic's been around, you can add a lot. Depending on what one you play here. And there's a lot of different ways to play. I'll touch on that in a second. You can add a lot of cards. You can tweak different way. And there's a lot of cards you can pick up cheap. If you want to do what you call poor boy with commons, you can. You could construct a deck relatively cheap. Hobby stores will give like what they have in excess of. You get it and just construct together and play it. So large number of players. And with that, the support of that too is, large number of players and expandability. There's a good support for this. Which also leads with that support and the number of players in the metagame actually is creative. So you'll actually find a number of games. You don't have to just play vanilla Magic that way. That's why I have this here. By the way, as I said, you saw this here. We have 2 players. You can actually play, and I'm going to show a variant here. And look at the Mutator Monday on Resource Management and what I'm calling the 3-headed dysfunctional dragon. Excuse me, the 3-headed dysfunctional giant. There's a 2-headed giant. Where the players duel each other. It's a variant I have for Magic, which I look at resource pulling. It's a variant under a variant. And what you do here is you can play with 3 players. They have other games that play more. They have other things here. They had things called Plane Chase. Magic introduced it. Different cards you can add in different ways to play. Huge because of the number of players. And if you want support, and that's another advantage, we'll make a note here. I'm just taking my notes here. The support aspect to it. Because of that, the number of players playing and everything else, you want something else that has a lot of players involved. Magic has it, so there's actually a good number of players. I'm shuffling. These are notes I'm going to be uploading as part of the annotation and everything else. I just wanted to make a note of it. So you have that there, and the support for it is there, and a lot of variants and everything else. There's just some downsides, but overall, you're looking for a game that's interesting. If, the Wizards dueling aspect isn't offensive to you, and there's some people that don't like that concept. There's also other deck building games. It's a matter of finding it there. There's some sci-fi themed and everything else. You can find it, and if the whole money pit angle doesn't interest you as much, you could also get trading card deck building games, which are a little bit different than this, and we'll look at that. But anyhow, there's a lot of good here, and that's what we did here. To sum up again, it plays quick and it's compact, as you see here. All you need is 1 deck if you want to play. There's good artwork on the cards. Large number of players. Player base is huge. There's expandable. It has a lot of variants you want to play and play differently. And also has good support with it. With the variants, there's a lot of support. Look at a number of YouTube channels. There's lots of them. People analyze the cards, recommend what comes out. Do things if you want a lot of studying and strategy, you can do it. You can look at that for people construct other decks. And there's a lot of it, and particularly the tactical play and strategy and everything else. So I'll add that as one other thing here. So yes, it's a strategy game. So anyhow, the metagaming involved with that, and also the tactical play. So I wanted to go over this here. So hopefully this gives you a little bit of insight if you're not familiar with Magic, what it was, and why it might be of interest to you. It's a good game. It's a landmark game, actually. So anyhow. So yeah, that's about it. We're done here, and I do want to thank you for watching, and may your die always roll 5.